producer looked at me. He was like, yo, you smart. I said, I don't believe a lot of this shit I'm reading. I said, what's up? So come to find out, he don't even write all the books himself.
Abdul Kulbazun Tatlatat Wadano Bed Mahu Hadis Aishu Inokalu. Anuki Fiana Aishu Kalu Wakula Shukalun. Nata Kunafi Kalu. Anuki Ferragun Shukalu. Wakalu Kalun Ferragun Shuni. Anuki Wahid Kakalu Wakalu Kalu Wahid Mali. Duk Aikilu, Anjiu, Kama Ferragun Shukalu Wakama Feidu. Duk Aikilu Aquenu Kudek Duka Fizikalu. Kama Tawu Kama Kafazi Kalu Lia Amidu Fikalu. Anuki Kabahawa Hood. Kalu Kalu Nanuki. Kalu Yaku Nukakilu, Kalu Babu Nukabilu. Begin all prayers, thinkings, and deeds with who? Divine love and all. I am in the love of all of us me. We are all in all. I am a part of all, and all is a part of me. I am one with all, and all is one with me. I can succeed as all. I can succeed as all, and fail as an individual. I can be all I wish and all as long as my wish is to stay in all. I am never alone. All is I am. All can I can. All does I do.
Who am I? The Tower Hat family for showing up. I appreciate y'all for showing up and talking to us.
I mean, to the Nubian Islamic Hebrews. I came in pretty late. What pulled me in was the Nubian Islamic Hebrews, so I followed that all the way up to the United Nuwaubian Nation of Moors. Just reading different scrolls and watching videos on YouTube, and essentially learning about how he was falsely imprisoned, and so that set me down a rabbit hole of trying to research his case and connect with other Nuwaubians to get an update essentially on what we need to do or what needs to be done next, you feel me, in relation to his case to be able to get him released, you know what I'm saying? And I obviously ran into the Sabeans and stuff like that, and my thing with the Sabeans was like I wasn't so open to just adopting the new doctrine simply because I didn't think it was wise, you know, like I questioned the truthfulness within the material. Yeah, I had trouble accepting material coming from somebody that was essentially being held captive, right? So if it's coming from Malachi Z. York, it's not like how it was when he was released. So essentially how I look at it is it has to go through a median, right? The oppressors before it gets to us. And I feel like before it gets to us, if it's anything dealing with the uplifting of the melanin dominant people, they gonna have to taint it. You feel me? They gonna taint it some way, shape, or form. And so I looked at it as a COINTELPRO. I've reached out to other Sabeans or just Sabeans period and questioned what would needed to be done, and I was essentially told to become a Sabean, you know what I'm saying, and join the movement and stuff like that. But it didn't sit right with me because I was studying law or legalese at the time and like studying statutory codes and stuff like that, and so it's like for me to be told to just join or to just start reading the material coming from Pop didn't sit right with me, because it was like me being 22, they essentially came and got him when I was incompetent. I didn't know anything, you feel me? I'm like 1-2 years old. And so coming to the age of where I'm now 22, and it's been 20 plus years since he's been falsely imprisoned, I look at just joining or becoming a Sabean and studying the teaching, the new material as not really doing much. Like, yeah, cool. Like the whole idea is to be able to uplift consciousness and help the melanin. You can hear me? Because I know the little car.
To it. Yeah, we can hear you. Perfect.
How hot? Yeah, it's just like I didn't see like it doing much. You know what I'm saying? I felt like them just pushing the doctrine, the new doctrine on me was just going to end up having us waste 20 more years. You know what I'm saying? So instead of the doctrine, even though I didn't feel like, you know, I myself consider myself a Nuwaubian. You know what I'm saying? I came up to the point where Yamasee tribe. You see what I'm saying? That was the last thing I studied and wanted to take action on before I came across the whole knowledge of him being incarcerated. And so I was just like, you know what? Regardless of how I feel about the whole Sabean thing, how I feel about the material, y'all are, I'm talking about the Sabeans, right? Y'all are essentially individuals claiming to be students or followers of Malachi Z. York. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to shun that, you know? So I became open-minded or made an effort to want to work with them or other Nuwaubians, you feel me, that kind of either identify with Yamasee or Nuwaubian, you know, but most of the time it's typically you see Sabian. So I was open to working with them, but my issue or my run-in was they didn't want to focus on the codes. They didn't want to focus on the legalese, which baffled me because I was like, essentially he's falsely in prison. Like when it comes to him being held by individuals that run their system on codes and statutes and stuff like that, I felt like it was backwards to ignore the codes. Or like for me, my whole idea, like I said, I don't know much, you feel me, but my whole idea as far as how to get him released was essentially to study the case, right? Look at the violations or whatever crimes they may be committing against him, you feel me? And essentially make a claim, you feel me? Lien, claim, charge against them, you know, and hold them liable to that to the point where they do release them. But like I was saying before, like they were telling me not to study the codes, and so like that was my roadblock and my disconnect there. Yeah, that's just my background. I hope I answered the question because I kind of did go on a tangent and stuff like that. Talking about it does make me pretty emotional, so that's why I was a little long-winded or whatnot. Did I answer your question? Give you some.
You weren't. Yeah, you weren't long-winded because at the end of the day, like you coming into this is something new, right? So just like you gotta get to know us, we gotta get to know you. So we gotta know your background, and it's good. I mean, if you have more to share, you share, because at this time, like this is what's all got us to this point, and all got us to this connection. Because I got my own story, which I'll tell eventually once we finish kind of going through different things with, I guess, some of the new people that came into as well. But I mean, you're not long-winded at all, and I know none of the brothers and the sisters on here feel that way either. So if you got something else more to share, like, okay, now after that, like, what got you here exactly? Like, what got you here into this chat?
So like my whole goal is to get him released, right? But to also rebuild Tamaray. So like I said, I'm from Miami, right? But so my profession, what I tend to pour my energy into, what I do for work is I'm either studying law and exercising law, like Uniform Commercial Code or United States Code and things like that, or I'm into blockchain programming, right? I do blockchain security. I do security audits for different applications or different programs on the blockchain. So if I'm not doing either one of those, that's all I do. And so like my whole goal is to essentially get him released using the Uniform Commercial Code and to rebuild Tamaray using the Uniform Commercial Code. So because I feel like I don't know enough about the case to be throwing charges, liens, claims against these corporations, essentially the government, I was just looking to connect with other students of Malachi York. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking to get into whatever group that is using the verbiage that came from his teachings. You know what I'm saying? And that's what got me into the group. And I'm not sure who sent me the link or who I talked to, who I happened to see the post about the double ankh, right? Because okay, I'm skipping over some stuff, right? So I'm in Miami, right? But I'm having a coder's block, writer's block, right? I meet a Muslim that happens to know about Dr. York, and he ends up telling me like, yo, you don't need to be in Miami. You need to be out exploring. You need to be traveling. You need to get out of your own way, or essentially into a new environment, into a new space where you're uncomfortable, so you can get over your writer's block, so you can get out of your own way, right? So I took my car, drove all the way to Arizona. You know what I'm saying? I ended up because I bought different scrolls and stuff like that. I bought it from All Eyes on Egypt. I just happened to look, right? Because I was in Georgia at the time, and I never got to go to the All Eyes on Egypt store, right? Because that's where I bought the bookstore. So I was like, something told me to look up All Eyes on Egypt, and sure enough, there was one in Arizona, like a good 20-30 minutes from where I was at the time, but they were closed. So I called, right? Talked to the buddy that apparently owns the store, right? He told me they were closed, but they were going to be open on Monday, right? This tying into the double ankh, right? Or the double cross ankh. So, yo, this is crazy, man. No cap. So, the day comes where it's open. I pull up mad early, because I'm itching. I'm like, yo, it's finally time for me to tap in with some in-person Sabeans, Nuwaubu, whatever, to be able to question, like, hey, what's going on? Why has it been 20 years? You know what I'm saying? Like, I know I'm young and all, but just like, why 20 years? You know what I'm saying? So, I get to the store, he ends up showing up, right? We chopping it up, we going to the store, we chopping it up, talking about like what got him into the teachings, how did he get the store. He knew, by the way. I don't know if y'all know who that is. That's the name that I was told. His name is He Knew. So we talking about like the teachings and whatnot, right? And I'm not trying to be too long, right? I see the flag. Automatically I point out the double cross, right? Because I was like, what's the whole idea? Like, how did we go from a 6-pointed star with the ankh to no 6-pointed star to double cross, right? And to me, how I was explaining to him, I was like, that double cross is like double masculine, right? But we could go and focus on the Christian cross, right? It's completely masculine. You can't find no feminine energy within that type of text. And for me to essentially see that type of energy within something you all are attaching to Malachi York, I'm not really resonating with it. And he was like, how he explained it to me was the double ankh or the double cross ankh means double resurrection. And I question why. I'm not even trying to go into that. So when he was explaining to me about the double resurrection, I was like, I didn't get it, because I was like, how are we being resurrected again if once you wake up, you can't go back to sleep? You know what I'm saying? So like the whole idea of being resurrected 2 times didn't really resonate with me. And then on top of that double masculine, right? We have the basic on. We have the feminine energy and the masculine energy, right? The womb circle, and then the masculine, right? The double, the two masculine didn't go resonate with me. So another individual happened to come into the store and hear me talk about the double masculine, and he came in and introduced himself. He said Anuki, whatever, the whole thing. Buddy said it all, you feel me? But he was saying that with whatever that they're doing, when it comes to being in relation to Malachi in New York, the whole intention is to be righteous. You know what I'm saying? And so I was like, I get that, you know what I'm saying? But it doesn't make sense on how you have to be resurrected again. You feel me? And then I was like, outside of the resurrection again, let's just cover it. Let's just utilize symbolism. You know what I'm saying? So I covered the top of the Ankh. I was like, without the feminine energy, you essentially have the Christian cross here. You know what I'm saying? That's a no-go. That's the spell of, you feel me? Like, nah. I see the spell of Leviathan within that. And he was just like, no, they just pretty much shut it down, and they were like, you don't know anything. You're new. You know what I'm saying? And use my age and how long I've been following the Lamb to pretty much shut down what I was saying. You know what I'm saying? What was your question? Because I feel like I'm going off in a tangent. You know what I'm saying? And just going off.
No, you're not. I mean, you're answering the question.
Facts. So it tied back into the post I seen in one of the groups about the double cross. You feel me? So when I saw the post, I commented because I was like, yo, like, I knew I wasn't the only one saying this or seeing it. You feel me? I'm seeing it. Like, you can't tell me that Christian cross is not in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, 'cause I covered it. They say they see it. So if you see it, that means that energy is resonating within that, within that symbol. So when I saw the post, I was like, yo, like, that's the vibe. You feel me? Like, I know that I'm not the only one that's able to see it. I commented in agreement, and that's what got me here. Yeah, that's what got me here for real.
So right time. Right time.
Right too.
Okay. Well, I think there was I'm gonna let you. So I did want to introduce ourselves too, because I think another brother just came in, but he just came out because he said he was listening. But basically, what I wanted to explain, and just so were you just reading the comments as well of what was going on, or you just read that, you just seen that, and you just?
I ain't read all the comments, man, because I know it's a lot of Sabeans that's gonna step for that double Ankh. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, I ain't got no time. I just put in my 2 cents. You feel me? I just let them know, like, hey, I see it. You know what I'm saying? And I 1,000,000% agree. And I don't resonate with it. Like, I'm not gonna stand with that double Ankh. And it's all over my Instagram. I see it on my Facebook. Like, I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather have that 6-pointed star with the Ankh in the middle. You know what I'm saying?
Tour. Now, like,
yeah,
what? Now. Cool. Okay, so what we're about, like I was saying, on the thing, so I do appreciate that for real, because it helps us be able to know you. You know what I'm saying? And it's not really like a thing where we just want to ask everybody, who are you, who and what are you, but like, the name is called the House of Who. You know what I'm saying? Now you can ask what is that, and many other questions, but first, like, I know you've seen me saying, huh?
The House of Who?
The House of Who. WHU. Who. AWHU.
Okay.
U. But you can also spell I stuttered. WHUWA. Who. You say who? Who, Mano?
Who? It's HU.
HUWA. Yeah, backslash. Yeah, I get it. My fault, man.
It's spelled, I apologize, but HU, but we say Hua for greetings, and we also say Rahubat too as well. Like, it ain't nothing changed, but it's like we're focusing on things that Prophet was teaching when he was free. You see what I'm saying? We don't go into none of that Patara crap. You know what I'm saying? We stick to the facts. You see what I'm saying? And I don't know if I explained that his son Ibrahiim al-Mahdi, he's the one that also teaches the class. He's actually on here. You know what I'm saying? Have you ever heard of him before?
No, sir. As far as anything, my main focus has been like studying the language. You know what I'm saying?
And
I
that's
feel
what
like the when it comes to contracting, right, or them being able to infiltrate is via language. And so, as far as any Al-Malti, I have the Rati Shriner version. I like to read that a lot. I've been studying the language under Messiah Al-Malti, you know, but I haven't heard of who you've been talking about.
I mean, yeah, well, he's on the chat, you know what I'm saying? He's not a York, he's an Almaty. That's why a lot of them, the soybeans or Sabeans, they try to keep this a secret because, you know, they know, I mean, and anything we say, we could back up with proof. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't believe me, check it out. That's what Pop always said, right? Pop always said that,
Yeah,
don't believe me, check it out.
Biggest thing. How you gonna get rid of the Almaty dynasty, man? That don't make no sense. It don't make no sense, bro.
To it.
Like, bro, that
to it. So I mean, I don't want to just overspeak, but like, I will let you introduce like Nebu. There's a brother named Neb, but Nebu, if you did want to introduce yourself, this the one who's Malachi York's blood son and the one who we're trying to avoid because they know that actually, like, I mean, and it's not about being a successor, right? But they know that Malachi York was teaching a couple of his kids to be able to, you know what I'm saying, let's say, raise us back to where we should go or what we should be doing, you know what I'm saying? But in between that, it's been a lot of confusion. And that's where that whole Sabean things came up because most of them, and even if, I don't want to get into it, but Nebu, you want to say what's up to the brother?
Yeah, who am I? Raul who am I? And who am I just means, you know, divine love, creative force of will, his divine will with us all. With us all. What else would say all that? We do teach language. If you said you're interested in the language under the, I'm sorry to tell you this too, because you was in the wrong place with Naya Messiah Almighty. That's not my brother or anything like that at all. He was Nubic, and that's because he's more inclined into Arabic, and that's what he was learning while he was in the feds all those years. While Pops was locked up, you know, he was in the feds and he came out, and I guess he wanted to monetize and figure out a way to look like he was some imperial supreme grand master, which is, you know, basically he's a cloak, and he's teaching Nubic. Okay, this is not Nuwaubu, or the mystery language that the master teacher gave us before he got kidnapped. All right, I hear you talk about the Uniform Commercial Code. I'm the one that went in there. I have stacks and stacks of paperwork, his case and everything in there myself to battle using the Uniform Commercial Codes. You understand, the UCC. And I became a secured party. I got his name, all of that, birth certificate, everything, you know, secured, etc. And I went in there. I can go through the story of what happened in there and how the so-called Sabeans, at the time, they were still considered Nuwaubians, and how they, you know, betrayed me and set me up to get locked up. You understand?
Could you come back to the mic? It's kind of hard to hear you.
Yeah, you fading out a little bit, Nebu.
Hold on. Hold on.
Hear me better?
Sure.
Well,
all right. Well, I got paper trails and receipts of me going in there fighting that battle, using the Uniform Commercial Code, using the natural law. You know what that's about. And to the point where I had them going into default after the different phases, 14 days on to 30, and then they went into default. And it was almost 72 hours. They had 72 hours, and then we would be able to release them. At that time, I had a courier going in there. I had a courier, we used to call him Inky. And he was able to pass them all of their stuff. You know what I mean? So he used to work there. So they would they'll throw the papers on it, you know, they'll throw them bombs on their shelf on their desk, and they would sign it without even paying attention. And then we would basically take all of their signatures, copy it, notice the agents, notice the principal, notice the agent, Thunderclap Academy. You know what I mean? And so the Nuwaubians, the ones that was, some of them that was in the police force, etc., and in the lodge, they knew my movement. When they arrested my courier, when they kidnapped my courier, I decided to try to go in on that last couple of days. And I was on my way through Macon, Bibb County, Macon, you know, and they knew I was on my way. Only certain individuals that was running the lodge and all of that. And there was roadblocks throughout Macon, and they got me. And I wound up in there. You know, I wound up actually getting into a fist fight with the officers over there on Anthony Road. Yes, because it was my dad, you know what I mean? It was my father, and I felt like they wanted to stop me, and I wound up getting in a fist fight with them. Needless to say, the story is deeper than that, because it was a guy named Montu, what's that? He was one of the triads. He was the one that told me, why don't you get yourself locked up to show your dad, you know what I mean, that this works at the time, you know what I mean? But either way, when I was in there, basically they held me in there until I saw on the news, on the television that was high in the jailhouse, that they gave him 135 years. From there, the DA came like 2 days after that, and basically told me, you know, if you're gonna take a plea, you know, we can release you. And I just took an Alfred plea, if you know what an Alfred plea is. An Alfred plea is a plea based on a black person that didn't know the law or didn't know how to read in slavery time, and he beat up, you know what I'm saying, his commanding officer, and he was able to get off. And that leaves it where it's in the best interest of both the court and myself. And they just told me, don't go to Edenton, don't go to Macon anymore, because they don't know what the police is gonna do. If they can't hold me, they don't know what the police is gonna do. I'm just speeding through the story, but it was a betrayal by the nation itself, you know, that knew my movement and knew where I was gonna be. When I came out, there was rumors all around about me that I was drunk, that I was this and I was that, and I was belligerent and crazy, and I went crazy, and that's why I got locked up. And they never asked, how the hell did they kick you out of court? I got paperwork. How the hell was you able to get out of the lion's den? You know, needless to say, by that time, there was a lot of other paperwork that was just coming in there from so many different directions. So the court decided it was your Massey papers. It was so many, your Masseys was against each other. Out of fat, your Massey, all of this was doing all of this at the same time. And that gave them the excuse to say that all of this was a legal term, gobbledygook. You know what I mean? Yes, it's a legal term. It's called gobbledygook. Look it up, right? It just means a whole bunch of laws and codes and words that's gonna mean nothing. You know, it's just a whole bunch of nonsense. And they were able to freeze all of that. Needless to say, my father, and then they kept on bringing him new lawyers, bringing him back into the court's jurisdiction. You understand? Because it was all about jurisdictional issue from day one. All right? So from there, everything else started changing. My life got threatened by my so-called people who were supposed to be Nuwaubians, now turning into some Sabeans. You understand? Bringing people back into monotheism, religion, based on Islam, Judaism, and Christianity. These Sabeans are from, you know, an ancient Arabian place, back in, you know, over there near Yemen, where it's called Yemen today. You know what I mean? And they're basically under the Semitic type of doctrine, under the Abrahamic teachings. Anyway, needs to say, this is why you see the double cross, right? The double cross in my father, they double crossed the whole nation. You know what I mean? The double unk, bringing the two masculine together, the gatekeepers, you know, gay people, all the gatekeepers type of stuff, doctrine. As soon as the nation changed into supporting the gay rights, all of a sudden inside of our community start talking about gay people instead of putting the feminine, like the above like we were supposed to do, like the Kushite kings and the Nubians were doing in ancient times, they decided to go the other route and conform like cowards. You know, they're afraid to use the name Nuwaubian or Nubian. They can't even explain what that is. You understand? So this is where the whole, I understand the Uniform Commercial Code, and there is a process, there's a system. You won't be able to do it by yourself. You understand? The real key in doing something like that is for you to have at least 6 to 7 proxies. You understand that? You would have to have 6 to 7 liaisons, basically. So, and it will be connected in a circle, meaning that I'm a party with regard to your secure property as well, and so forth and so on, all the way into a circle, almost like the little ship inside a matrix. When you send one person in there, you got enough people out there that when they get one, they owe the other one, they owe the other one, they owe the other one. It's like a big chain. But people they don't understand that type of life. And that's a whole life. This is a whole life. You got to keep up with the law, because it changes every day. You got to understand that. Using certain words and jargons are already copyrighted. Sovereign, all of that is copyrighted, so they can get you already in law. You have to understand these type of things. This is why I tell people when they come in with the UCC, it has to be based on UCC. Nothing added to it. Nothing added to it. I'm Yamasi, I'm this, I'm Native American, I'm that, I'm more, none of that should be added to it, or it'll become gobbledygook jargons. That's not gonna work. It is based on trade and it's contractual law. It's an agreement. You coming in as a secure party, a merchant. You understand what I'm saying? And if you don't speak their language, bing bong, they got you. Okay, so that's what the uniform, so that's what I did so I understand when you said Uniform Commercial Code, and I do agree with the fact that we should, as a people, if he is innocent, which we know that he is innocent, let's fight for his innocence and not try to run into other countries, because, try to run into other countries. Let me run to Africa. Nah, if he's innocent, let's go and let's fight this fight right here. You know what I mean? So this is where we at. We in the House of Who. The reason why I named it the House of Who is because originally we were considered HTM. By my father, we was considered the Holy Tabernacle Ministry, and then it turned into Heliopolis, Thebes, and Memphis, HTM. But when I tried to grab the nation, and keep them focused, I looked, and everybody else within the nation started grabbing this title and making businesses, LLCs, corporations out of HTM, out of all of this stuff. You know what I mean? York's this and York family that, and they were eating off of my family. You understand? So I basically went back into coin, and I was like, what is the secret name that my father loved to use the most? What is it that nobody is right under their nose and they don't like to use? And that was Who and Hua. Has nothing to do with Islam. You understand? It has more to do with something way more ancient, and that is Who and Hua. You know what I mean? So even though you might hear it in other religions and things like that, this is older. We got videos that explain that as well. And it's in the Master Teacher Scrolls. He'll tell you that Om is meant to trap you, and the sacred name is Who and Hua. So this is the hearts. Who represents hearts united. You understand? Our mission is to free him to recrown him for the Z, the next Z, June 30th. June 2030th is next Z. That's what the mission is. He needs to be freed and recrowned to show that we want what he came to give. While he's in there under threat, duress, and coercion, extreme threat, duress, and coercion, and with the RICO Act, anytime they mumble that he wrote this from in there, he gets an infraction. Most people in the nation of the Sabbatic or Sabine nation don't even know that he couldn't get any writings or calls for many months until just until a couple of days ago, he was able to get a phone call. And even with that phone call, the first thing he told them was, we are Nubian, Nuwaubian Africans. Point blank. not Sabeans. They're still Nubians, as in Cushite, children of Cushites. We ain't, they want to break up into their splinter groups and start their own thing and say that I'm starting my own thing. We do not mess with anything after his incarceration. After his incarceration, don't touch it. So what you said was pretty smart. I didn't feel good about, dealing with something. I don't think it was safe to touch something like this. I'm only going to deal with something that I know for sure that he wrote while he was free, happy, and able to do what he's supposed to do. I'll stop right there. I got more to say, but if you got any questions, we can go there. Or anybody else want to say anything, we'll go. Whoa.
Brother, you have more questions? Walton there? Still there?
I don't got no questions, man. No questions.
Is it getting clear to you now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't agree with nothing,
then I think we have a couple more people that come in too. Then Ibrahiim, if you feel like you got to keep going in, then go in, because this although I like Walton there, I'm not going to act like I'm somebody that's been here too. I'm relatively new. You know what I'm saying? I had a
So Safer, what made you decide to come to the house of who?
Because I used to be a Sabean first. So I'm not going to speak too long about my story, right? But my story was I was actually living in DC, and I used to live right next to an All Eyes on Egypt store. You know what I'm saying? And I remember some kept telling me, I ain't gonna say something, but the spirit kept telling me don't go in there. Or the tears kept telling me don't go in there. Although I was obsessed with Egyptian culture, I was doing my own studies, you know what I'm saying? So I was reading books by Anthony T. Browder, different writers, you know what I'm saying? But some kept telling me don't go in there. But I remember so long story short, I don't want to go too much in my story, but I had to move away from DC, away from where I was close to the tab, to actually figure out what and who I was getting myself into. Because as soon as I moved to Florida, that's when because I always had the Malachi Z books, right? But I never read it until I moved to Florida, and that was 3 years ago, so it hasn't even been that long. But I was reading it one day, and I was like, man, and I taught my daughters this, so I was like, whoever this man is that I can read his book and I can teach my daughters to, I want to be able to I want to know who this is. So I Googled him, whatever. If I Googled him, I'm like, damn, I seen all the things he did. It's like this. I was like, damn, you know what I'm saying? And I seen the negative things too, but my soul was telling me yo, this is the person you've been looking for. So long story short, I'm gonna speed it up. I just started Googling who knows about this man? Who can I build with? You know what I'm saying? I'm in Jacksonville, Florida, so I'm like, who can I build with? So all of a sudden, I find some people out in Orlando. So I hit them up. I'm like, hey, I'm trying to build with some Nuwaubians. I got this book. And then they're like, immediately they're like, we're not called Nuwaubians no more. We're called Sabeans. I'm like, okay, we're Sabeans. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm just like, yo, I like what this man's saying. I seen all the great things he did. I just want to be a part of something. So long story short, I get in the chats. I'm in the chats, right? I'm in the chats heavy. I'm learning. I'm doing the chants from 9 a.m., 3 p.m., and 9 a.m. Anuki Ashuk M Baba Anuki M Baba Shawud. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing all that. I'm learning the lives. I'm doing everything. I'm like, yo. But for some reason, I'm like, it's not clicking. I'm like, something is not clicking to me. And then I'm on a chat with these brothers, and I'm asking certain questions because that's the kind of guy I am. I'm going to ask questions. I'm not, like Pop said, don't believe me, check it out. So I'm in the chat and I'm like, hold on, I'm reading the Holy Tablets. Oh no, don't read the Holy Tablets, that's outdated. I'm like, damn, they all jumped on me about that. I'm like, damn, no. All right, I guess I want to read the Holy Tablets. Then, right, one day I'm reading the Patarak, and it's a scroll from, it's like the Houthi Moses and Moses. Then I read that, I'm like, damn, the story's inspiring. That's the greatest. I'm like, that's the greatest story ever.
Cool, we lost you. Are you there?
You was telling me how you were reading, you was like, it was the greatest story ever, you feel me? And then you just happened to get disconnected.
He's still disconnected, he ain't fully connected yet. There you go. Cool.
Can I be heard?
You went out. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, to it. Okay, so I was reading that story. I'm like, man, it's the greatest story I ever read, right? And I put the joint down. And like, let's say 2 days later, I'm reading the Holy Tablets, and I'm just scrolling through the Holy Tablets. I'm like, it's doing long, so I'm just scrolling through it, right? So I can't remember what chapter it was because I'm still relatively new. So I scroll on that, and I'm like, I'm reading this story. I'm like, hold on, this is the same story. Just changed the name from what was it, Moses, like in the Holy Tablet, Melchizedek. And I'm like, hold on, they just changed the name. It's the same story. So then I went back and asked them, I'm like, hold on, the Pots Rocks, why are the Pots Rocks so different from the Holy Tablet? I was like, is it just something that made easier to read nowadays? No. What you're reading is outdated. I'm like, hold up, come on now. I'm like, okay, let me shut up a little bit. But I'm not no yes man, so let me shut up. So I was like, okay, let me just keep going with this. Then all of a sudden, I'm trying to learn the language, right? The language keep changing every week. I'm like, God damn. I'm like, yo, I can't even listen. One day it's Nuke, one day a Nuki, one day a Nuki means I'm, one day Nuki means I'm. I'm like, yo, one day what? Shawil means next day Shawil means will. I'm like, update. I'm like, who's updating this? And you know what I'm saying? Then when I ask the question, it's, oh, don't ask questions because that's why Pops kept changing things because he wants you to first get the Inglesi out of your head. I'm like, these people got questions. They got to come back for everything. I'm like, yo, yeah, this, I'm not dumb. You know what I'm saying? So then it got to the point where, like I said, I was a part of it. I'm like, yo, this joint is not sitting right, man. And then I end up we're on the chat. And I'm like, every question I had to ask one day, I just grew the nuts to ask. I'm like, yo, listen. And I'm talking to Mario Jessup, and I'm asking all these questions. Then they're trying to sell me books. Then they're trying to back sell me books. Like, they have one of their flunkies DM me like, hey, we got a book if you want to see Pops. Because I'm asking certain questions during the chat, and they don't like it. So they sending somebody to DM me. They're like, hey, because I'm like, okay, if Pop been locked that long, how come we don't got no picture, nothing? I'm like, yo, but y'all acting all these books is coming out, so but we don't have anything like no audio, no nothing. So somebody texted me, they were like, if you wanna see Pops or get to know Pops closer in like your dreams like that. I'm like, hold up. When I seen that, they're like, there's a way to get to him. It's called the book called The Key to McPop. It's called Pa McPops. The key in the lodge, right? That's the language. And it was like, and I was like, okay. And I was like, how much is it? $90. I said $90. And I was like, and then they're like, and then you know what she said? She's like, in the back, there's a picture of Baba Yanan in the back. I'm like, yo, there's a real life picture of him in this time in the back. Listen, I'm like, dog, they made it seem like you know when you get cereal and after you finish the cereal, you put your hand in the bottom of the treasure. That's how they made it. I'm like, this is a joke. I'm like, they're making this shit seem like a joke. And I'm like, I didn't come here to play around. See what I'm saying? So I'm like, so then when she said that shit, when she said that, I was like, I'm in the chat. I was like, hold on. I said, hey, I just got a message. Somebody's messaging me talking about there's a book called Pod. I was like, hold on. Did anybody know about this? And remind you not, their chat's like 50 people in the chat, or 100. So I'm like, did anybody know about this? Everybody got quiet. I'm like, why y'all quiet? I'm like, listen, I was like, I feel as if it's fair that everybody should be able to know about information. You know what I'm saying? Because and then because in the book I go back before Mario he got quiet, Mario or Amun, whatever his name is, he got quiet. So long story short, I was like, another brother who runs the little clubhouse thing, he was like, oh, maybe it's because he tried to justify why I got the secret message. He was like, maybe it's because how they call it, they call it Nadru. How they call it? They spell it like ND. You know what I'm talking about? How they say it? They're like, maybe it's because Pi Natir chose you to get the information. That's what they said on the chat, and everybody's hearing this. So I'm like, hold on. I'm like, yo, you just said maybe because Pod and Natir chose me to get the secret, and you're telling me that there's souls on here, on this chat that's been following Pop before me, longer than me, been loyal. You talking about I'm the chosen. I said, basically, are you trying to say I'm the chosen one? That's what I said. He was like, no. Then Mario just got in there. He was like, what? He was like, what? Are you mad because the price of the book? I was like, mad because of the price of the book. I was like, no, I'm mad that you trying $90. You're trying to act as if I'm the golden one to get this message. I was like, it make it seem like y'all trying to like, you know, either you have. I said this. I was like, it make it seem like as if y'all trying to like use me or like, you know what I'm saying, play people, because I was like, if this information everybody should get it. And this is before I even really knew about all. I was like, we all should get it. You know what I'm saying? Like if something to be told, if there's a way to free somebody or a way for me to, get better overthinking, I'm not just gonna tell one person, I'm gonna tell everybody, because we supposed to be Yasars, right? Or they say Yasars. So all these things I'm seeing, I'm like, yo, and I'm questioning. And then they're all attacking me like, oh, you're acting like they didn't use Black Devil. They were trying to like slander me like right on the chat. And I'm like, yo, this shit ain't right. I'm like, yo, this ain't right. They over here worshiping this man. They're not walking with this man. They making this into Christianity. I'm like, yo, I didn't leave and educate myself to come back into something and then I figured out it was full of shit. I was like, this shit is full of shit. I'm backing out with this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Then I was trying to I was like, you know what? And then I had a little small bookstore out here in Jacksonville, Florida, right? So I was opening a bookstore out here, and then I was like, man, I want to meet some brothers, because I was like, maybe I could possibly, build with them, because I have a used bookstore, so I don't sell like Pop's work, you know what I'm saying? And if I do get any Pop's work, to be honest, like not physical copies, but like it's printed, I'll give it out to somebody that needs it, you know what I'm saying? So I met some Sabeans out here too, and their energy was all. So then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna teach myself. You know what I'm saying? So long story short, I was trying to teach myself the language, right? Learn the language. And then it was this guy named Naya Messiah El Mahdi, right? He was pretending to be the brother you spoke to on the phone right now, the brother you spoke to, Ibrahiim El Mahdi. He was pretending to be him, because he was saying everything that made sense, but I'm like, and then I didn't catch on to, I caught on to his personality, but I didn't catch on to like who he was trying to be, because like I said, like I didn't know that Pops had a son like that, I didn't know, because they try to hide him. So long story short, I was following his classes, because like I said, I'm big on the language. I'm trying to learn the language. So I'm following his class, but I'm not following what he's saying, because he don't look the part. Then all of a sudden, it was a sister named Ibrahiim, which you just spoke to. She's on the chat. She slid me. She was like, "Hey, this brother right here is lying. He's not who he say he is. Da 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 da." You know what I'm saying? And then she basically directed me towards the truth. And then it took me time to really understand, because I was listening to the chats. I'm like, And I was like, man, I've been playing so much the last couple months, man. I've been sitting here and there and there and here, that I gotta chill out. I gotta fall back and listen in for a couple months and see what they're really talking about. You see what I'm saying? So long story short, I listened in for a couple months, and then that's why the brother who you spoke to on the chat who posted was me, because that's the kind of energy we need to have. Warriors energy. Brothers who's tired of being lied to, you feel me? And who see through the how you say, I won't cuss. Who see through the crack. You know what I'm saying? That's how we gotta, and just hearing you speak and hearing your story, I'm like, yeah, that is that time. You know what I'm saying? Because we 21 years, the brother been in there. And like you said, you still young, right? You're 22, I'm 30. So in 2002, I was what? 9 or no, I was 8 years old. So like you said, like I felt the fact. Now that I'm coming of age, I'm like, damn, what can I do? And then when I came to hear that burden of what can I do, now it's what can we do? You see what I'm saying? So that's just my story. I mean, yeah. So I don't want to make it be story time, but like that's just how I got a part of that. Cool.
All right, can y'all hear me now?
Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
So at this point, we here in this class, we here in this Zoom every day of the week, starting at 8 Eastern time to 10, and sometimes we go past 10 o'clock, you know what I mean, depending on what we're building on. And what we do is we go and revisit the scrolls, we teach the language, we teach the Ashatat the proper way, the one that he had when he was out, everything that he put forth before they, did what they did to him, period. And it's for those who are serious and not looking to be groupies and follow some type of, follow the trend, so to speak. And of course, we're working also on facilitating a way to get him out of there. One thing I'm careful of talking a lot The reason why is because over the years, we would have people from over there, Sabatu and different things like that, and they would literally listen in, and the next thing you know, they would go and actually make a next pot to rock real fast, or actual facts real fast. You know what I mean? And then just change up some words, like the word natir. They want to make it into nataru because it's like, you know, it sounds fancy. You understand? Nazdir, they don't even know what Nazdir means or natir means, you know, and they want to go nataru and all of that type of stuff. But also you'll start seeing, being that we started doing our YouTube channel and pushing the who, you're going to start seeing that they are going to start pushing who again. You'll start seeing who popping up a lot of different ways because they are masters of assimilating, like trying to blend in first so they can basically intercept true souls that really want the truth. That, and my father told me this before he was locked up, and actually when we visited him in prison, me and my sister, you know, he said this, that it's going to be people that never met me. It's going to be people after the fact of all of the, you know, destroying his name and all of that. And most of the people that were in the community at the time is not going to be them. It's not going to be them. He told me that after my sister could vouch, you know, he said, and you showed them that we didn't lose, Ibrahiim. You showed them we didn't lose. You're going to go through exactly what I went through. And that stands, it makes sense because I'm constantly getting slanders. People are saying a lot of disrespectful things to slander me. And I meet people that meet me and, you know, they'll tell me like, hey, you know, it's crazy because before I met you, I heard about your name. And they was talking all crazy stuff about you. You're disgruntled, you're this, you're that, you know what I mean? You're working against, you know, the master teacher, you're doing your own thing, etc., etc. But remember this, truth can't get old. Truth, there's no truth can't get old. That's one thing, you know what I mean? And if you try, and based on what they're saying that the master teacher's been lying to us for over 40 years and waited till he get under the gun to start saying, now I'm going to change it up and tell you what I really came to give. That's a bunch of crap. And if people don't wake up to that, you know what I mean? Let them stay there. Let them stay there. I don't feel sorry. You know what I mean? There's no excuse for for foolishness. You follow that? The administration, them arguing about who's the next Maku. That's another thing he recently said. You can't be a female and be a Maku. That's a masculine name. You know what I mean? Or he took down the tribal mother. He took down all of that. And he said, focus on getting me out. I'm ready to get out. I'm ready to get out. I don't know how much longer I can hold in here. Hold on in there. But the nation got the hold of his machine. His machine is the nation itself. That's the machine that he created. What does that mean? It takes somebody to just say, I got a letter from Baba and he has a cold and he needs Tylenol. Tylenol is what? Let's say Tylenol is $4, right? Now you got thousands of people sending in $4. You get it? It's easy for them to have $100,000. 100,000, you know, 1,000 people send the administration or whatever $4. Guess what they got? $400,000. Is the master teacher out? Over 20 years, same story. New lawyer. Pops chose me. A non-family member, a non-bloodline family member. I'm his son. His grandmother was lying to him. His actual grandmother is somewhere in Ghana. You understand? Things like that. Just basically disrespecting the whole name, the whole culture. No, where's the land? How come people aren't doing their ashutat? How come people do not master all the stuff that he came to give? Because they didn't want that. They didn't want that. And they're good at character assassinating to intercept new souls. Soul snatchers, you know what I mean? But it's glad because they're getting weak. That's why people was popping up like, yo, I'm tired. This don't even feel right. Something in my soul tell me this ain't right. And that's all you need to go by. Realness, what you actually feel. If it ain't touching, because you know when it's the master teacher writing. You know what I mean? We got. I'm not gonna lie. You know what I mean? We got literal recordings of Dusua, for example's wife, saying that they're the ones that put together the Patarak.
I feel bad for my baby father. I feel really bad for him because he's in a place where I can't help him. Like, I feel like, because he told me one time, he said to me, you really intelligent, right? And he said, you know, it take people years to know the things you learn. Because I used to question him. I said, this don't make sense. I said, if black woman is God, then why do the sisters got to deal with polygamy? That's a form of slavery and religion. I said, because looking back in the days of Muhammad, I said, but in this doctrine is saying Patadak is supposed to be liberation. So why is he mixing religion with freedom? And Dusha looked at me. He was like, yo, you smart. I said, I don't believe a lot of this shit I'm reading. I said, what's up? So come to find out, he don't even write all the books himself. So come to find out, he don't even write all the books himself. So come to find out, he don't even write all the books himself because I was working in the book room too. I was working in the book room where you seen all them Patadak that y'all saw when y'all came for the initiation? Mm-hmm. I put those together.
The way. Remember, you got ya and then you got way. Way means disagreeable. Way means move out the way, etc., etc. You double crossing people. You saying that it's an unked way. Double unk. Where is the two unk? Where are the two loops or the two wounds? How, right? Where's the two wounds? So you're talking about an unk cross. You're talking about a Tyro cross, right? Where is it at? You follow? So they're gonna make sure that nobody get a chance to hear us. But it's all good.
You know,
good people,
yeah. Right? And one of them being his son, Ibrahiim. That's my dog. I was, boy, fuck with him if you want to. You know what I mean?
Well, you see, the fact that he even was telling you, you know, like, he telling you some stuff, you know, so your eyes was already kind of open.
Yeah.
In a way.
He's saying Baba ain't right. He said he wouldn't write no book called Actual Fact. He said that's a Muslim thing, a Nation of Islam thing. Why would he copy or whatever he was saying? I was like, I don't know. You know what I mean? I just have to go by how I feel. If it feel right, I rock with it. If it don't feel right, I ain't fooling with it. And that's just
one day me and Deuce got into an argument because I was saying to him something. I was quoting something out of a book, right? Mm-hmm. You know, the Akasha Records, the Actual Fact. Uh-huh. I was quoting something out of a book. I was living in Philly around that time, and I said to him, well, Baba said this and Baba said that, right? And I guess it was getting on his nerves. Right. So he was like, Baba didn't even write that shit. I don't even read half some fucking books that come out. I said, what? I turned around and looked at him. I said, what? He said, I wrote that shit. That's my shit that's in there. I wrote the Akasha Records. I said, what? Wow. So, like I said, it's you know, it's little times where some truth came out, or whatever the case may be, you know, and it just confirmed my suspicions of things.
Like a thief in the night, we here, and we're doing what we're supposed to do. And eventually, people's gonna wake up. And the ones that don't want to wake up, keep them there. It's not our people. It's not our story. It's not our war. It's not. Arguing with them, going back and forth with them, playing their mind game, that's not getting them out. That's not getting him out. And we need to go ahead straight up to court and fight the fight. He is innocent. You know how it feels to me to walk around looking like him, wondering like, damn, everybody got internet. And to them, they believe that my father is a child molester, and I look just like him. You know how it feels that, you know, your children come to you and say, is it true? Was he a child molester and stuff like that? Do you know that lifestyle? So in a way, yes, it's personal to get him free, but it's also, and it's my dad because I want him out. You know what I mean? But in all actuality, it's for all of us. I see how he affects people, how many lives he changes. And I can't hate on that, you know what I mean? So anybody else want to, you know, build, I got something to say, let's get it. At the end of the day, I'm looking for warriors. You know what I mean? It's almost like after the battle when they took down my home, knocked down the pyramids, changed his image, making him fat, skinny, and color drawings and stuff, looking almost like other people in the nation, making him look like Mario Jessup, making lying about Damian Pryor being his son. All of this stuff that's happening, right? And I'm just walking around looking for warriors that, wake up, wake up, wake up. The war ain't over. I know you're wounded. Lick your wounds. Heal that shit. We still got this battle to go. We still got this battle. You understand? And we need to free him. Remember, you heard it from me, his son first. Reason why we need to free him so we can recrown him. It ain't nobody else. It ain't none of my brothers that's coming around trying to walk slow with long ass robes and looking like some old dashiki super. None of that. Ain't no magic carpet flying niggas. It ain't no niggas that's trying to look exactly like another man. Looking exactly like another man. Spending hours in the mirror. That's not a man. That's not a true Kushite king. You know what I mean? So doing that, trying to look just like him. I'm gonna go buy glasses. I'm gonna dye my beard. Where the hell are these people coming from? Where the fuck? Yo, I don't even know. But those ain't our people. Those ain't our people. And this is why, you know what I mean? And you're gonna hear a lot about me. You're gonna hear them try to slander, and that's what they're good at. But my father said, I'm gonna go through exactly what he went through. And that's what they do. They knew how to slander him and make people not trust his word first. And then they do a propaganda. Why are they pushing something that my father does not agree with? Where they attack his children, his bloodline. Pops don't like his bloodline. Pops don't like his children. There's something wrong with that. He's not a deadbeat. He's a loving father. He's not against me. I'm not against him at all. But that's the propaganda for people like y'all that are new, that don't know. You come in and be like, damn. And you notice you just come into a big old soap opera. Who? Anybody else? Okay, yes, we record. I tell everybody, record everything. Record everything, write everything that you hear. There's no going back from that. You know what I mean? If you 100, you shouldn't be trying to lie. So, you don't have no weight on your shoulder if you don't lie. If you don't lie, you just keep it 100 with family, everybody. This is why we record. And also we do classes and we put it up on YouTube. You know what I mean? For people that don't have time to read or don't have certain scrolls. You know what I mean? And also to fight off all of those people that's making money off my father's books, selling it like the Holy Tablet for $1,000, selling all of these things on screen, in their little stores, but no money is going towards his freedom. No money is going towards anything worthwhile. Getting the land, resurrecting the Berbers, the pyramids, the sites. All of that, none of it is going there. Nothing is going towards the elders that are dying left and right, but they damn sure know how to celebrate their deaths. A whole bunch of balloon ceremonies and a whole bunch of people that look like they're out of shape. Your body tells me that you don't follow our oath and our creed. You're not on our health kick. You're not on our fasting. You're not on our exercising every day. You're not. Your body tells you. I don't care about, you know what I mean? So you see all of that within the Sabine nation, At the end of the day, this is why we're here, and we teach language, we teach breathing classes, meditation, Ashutad. We go through the doctrine, we quick Q&A, question and answers, and also, most importantly, we put our mind together and try to create an engine and put something together so we can start this, battle to get him out the right way, to get him out, to free him, to fight that fight. You say that he's all of this, I say he ain't. Let's go point for point. You've been doing a lot of judicial misconduct here, throughout this stuff, and we can prove it. We got to go that route. Because we're not going to play the game of he might have done it. That's why he ran. He might have done all of this. This is why he ran to Liberia or Ghana or Africa. You did something, now you want to run. So all of this is just a whole bunch of bull crap that's trying to keep our money so thin that we can't put it together and have a real strong fight. You have people attacking many attorneys, calling themselves the Sabeans, cussing out attorneys. I wish you'll die, things like that. You know what I mean? Just to make sure that there's no attorney here that want to even begin the fight if we wanted to go the attorney route. So at the end of the day, it's a big mess. And the whole time, ain't nobody on their spiritual tip. They ain't on the doctrine. They ain't on the truth. They ain't on Nuwaubu. That's what it's about. And it has its science. We have our ancient science, yes, which is Nuwaubu. Cool. So anybody want to talk? And brother, I like your energy. And we're here. So if you want to learn the language, we do that every Monday. You know what I mean? Anything else? If you got any questions, feel free to ask. Ain't nobody here to browbeat or try to make anybody feel less. We are all family equally. You know what I mean? Who up?
What I was told about as far as like how the books came to be, not really how the books came to be, but like with Pop being inside jail and like them sending letters or whatever. It goes back to like when I was in the store, right? They were talking about how they weren't able to message him because like pretty much all the letters or whatever would get fined, not even fined, but like it would be like a violation if they were trying to say something, you know. But they said that they were reaching out to another individual named Johnny. Have y'all heard about that?
I've heard of an individual named Johnny Sabbath. All right. Again, a whole bunch. This is a setup. You understand this? Anybody that deals with the feds, even if they release you, I did my Fed time. Guess what? This is ultimate reality. They watching you from this point to the day you go to the grave. And if you want their paper, just look at it like an application for a job, because anytime they can walk up on you. So they are feds. You understand? All the story I spoke to Pops, and Pops said this and that. If he's making communication and pretending that my father is even talking to the nation, which is one of the things that he cannot do based on the RICO Act. Based on RICO, he's not allowed to talk to the organization at all. Not allowed to communicate, not allowed to talk in any type of, write any books or anything, or sign anything, give it any commands or anything like that. He keep getting in trouble. This is why he keep getting in trouble. There's nobody, he's not getting no letters from people directly like that anymore. It's either going to be a lawyer's letter, people that goes through an attorney at this point. And even that is being held back for months. He's getting stuff months later. He's getting stuff months later, you know what I mean, even from the attorneys, mails, etc. You got that? So don't fall for that, because next year they're going to say the same thing. He's about to get out, his birthday. He's about to get out the next Savior's Day. Oh, I got another Ukabuka African lawyer, the Super Saiyan lawyer. You know what I mean? His name is this and that and the other. And just give me y'all money. Like I said, they control the machine. It takes one of them to say they got a code and they need some goodie powder. 100,000 people send them $2. They got $200,000. They driving good. They got the best shiny glasses now. They got the nice garbs. We're living luck while Pops is still up in there in that box screaming like he said, get me out of here. I don't know how long I can hold. This is his latest statements. So this is what his latest command, charges. Get me out of here. I don't trust no one. He says, I don't trust none of them. Get me out. Who? My bad.
Nah, you're
Go ahead
good.
with your question.
My next thing is just like action, you feel me? Like I'm all about action. My plan as far as getting him out, you feel me, was to essentially go over the case, find the violations, you see what I'm saying, the dishonor within the whole the case, you see what I'm saying, and pretty much with that charge him, lean him, you know what I'm saying. What do you think about that?
I've charged them. I put liens. You understand? Here's the thing. I'm gonna give you this reality too. There's a thin line between expatriating yourself. You know what that means, right? Expatriating yourself. Here it is. You say that you're in the United States or in the America. You expatriate yourself when you leave their system. You unplug from their system, right? All right. There's a thin line between expatriating yourself and treason. Yes, you understand? Here's the truth. There's more records There's more records out there that this is every time you sign something without signing with your hands. Every time you go to the doctor and they say, Dad, that vein look good as hell. And they got your blood, and then you sign it. Every time you went to their schools, since you went to the schools as a child, you've been there. All of that shows that you are, and you've been living under their law, and you've been paying your taxes or not throughout that. All of that shows that you are, you know what I mean? That's one. And here's another power that they had. Let me just go to Saddam Hussein, for example. He's a sovereign, right, of his country. Did it matter? Did it matter? If they want you, they get you and hide you. And a lot of people that I've done those paperwork, and I did it powerfully. You know what I mean? Luckily, I had enough eyes. Like I said, a team outside that kept on hitting them while I was in there. So I had a team hitting them, and they couldn't catch all of them because all of them was not in the same city, states, or anything like that. And that's how I got kicked out. You know, they kicked me out. They warned me, like, I don't know what's going to happen to you if you go through Edenton or Macon anymore. Okay. Other than that, what they're going to do is say, okay, since you're not this, where do we put you at? We can't put you back in society. We're going to hold you there. Who's going to come for you? What country is coming for you? What place is coming for you? That's the end result of people that actually beat them up in court. Don't listen to the ones that get away with the basic charges like traffic violations. That's the easiest. It's too much money. I ain't got to deal with it. Get out of my court. That's nothing. They'll come to you and be like, I got away with the charge of traffic violations. That's nothing. I'm talking about felonies. I'm talking about, you know what I mean, aggravated felony, like high crimes, right? Let's see if they get out of that one. No. They'll thunderclap you on the inside. They did that to me. They had me up in there, handcuffed to the wall, up in a room with no windows, beating the shit out of me, beating the crap out of me. You understand? Knocking my teeth out, talking about, you think you a diplomat? They couldn't understand what they were looking at. They just needed me to conform. This is what I was going through before they released me, just to find out that the whole nation turned on me. They was just telling my father all this stuff. He's wilding out. He's fighting the police officers. He did this and that. He's disgruntled. That's what they were doing. They needed me out the way. They did not need him to get out, because if he get out, there can't be any Mario. There can't be any Dudu York. They can't be any Polite. They can't be any young elder or any one of those people. They'll shut up. They can't be taught. They won't be saying, I'm Tahuti, I'm the fifth elder, I'm this and that. There won't be any discrepancy between the native, the Yamasis anymore. All of that. He is the main key, and he needs to be freed and shut all of these knuckleheads up. It's like when the dad is away, then all the hood rats came out and just started going through the house and just free willy-nilly it. And then told y'all to hate his children. He don't like his children. He don't like his children. He don't like his children. He's not a deadbeat. I'm telling you. They don't know him. Dudu York wasn't up there with him at all. You know what I mean? He was locked up during that time. A lot of those people that be on the website, on Facebooks and stuff like that, Yozoza Manzu and all of these people were locked up. What's her name? Tabba Jet was locked up. You know what I mean? Was locked up. Now she's out there talking to people, telling people that she is married to him. This is not true at all. You know, and then she got her little cronies around her little cheerleaders who's, you know, in her, you know, she's, you know, greasing their palms, talking about, yeah, you're right. You're the one that loves the master teacher. You're this and that. While she's having toxic energy. It's not even feminine, right? It's not smooth. It's not like a cat. It's not like a lioness. It's not. It's just toxic, masculine type of, yeah. And that's the truth. And so that route you're trying to go, right, with the Uniform Commercial Code, it can open up a certain door. But to go fully through with it, you don't have enough of the machine in your part in order. It's just gonna be you, and they snatch people up. They're good for kidnapping and shut you up or hold you there in the cell, like, okay, until you get tired, until you like waiting for you to be like, okay, I'll break. Let me out. I'll take a plea.
Make you tap, yeah.
Make you tap. Look what they're doing with Polite, right? Tap. Polite don't know my father, never did. You know what I mean? But everybody loved to run to those people. And that's how, because they're masters at it. They're trained as COINTELPRO to be able to do that. Yes.
Okay, well, so hopefully that kind of like not drop your guard, because your guard always should be up, especially because we at war right now. See what I'm saying? That's why even when we first spoke, I kind of asked. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful, but I was like, like, who are you and why do you follow? You know what I'm saying? And then you clearly understood how it's coming. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I can tell your energy already that you are a warrior spirit. You know what I'm saying? Without just in our brief conversation. You know what I'm saying? Because you understood why I asked that question. You see what I'm saying? Because we are at war, and I don't want to sit there and give all of our tactics out, but just don't think that we're just talking as if we don't have solution and plans. So as you hear the brother speaking, he just came in and like me, just give him a little bit of my backstory. I haven't been here that long either. As we were speaking, I haven't been just even following Pops that long. I figured it out on my own, and then I was to being, and I figured out, they're teaching something different. You see what I'm saying? So you have a little bit more background than me, because you said your grandfather know about this and your dad know about this. You know what I'm saying? And they taught you. So it's like you have a little more experience than I do in a sense. You see what I'm saying? But for all of us who are on this chat, that experience come in the form of right knowledge. Like we all know, we all have sound right reason. You know what I'm saying? We're all students who study, so we all know that when things aren't sounding right, you gotta search and do your research. So, and then just to go back to the point where we were talking about just recording the class, is because later on I'll send the link to the YouTube. When we do go over different scrolls that Pops wrote, we do record it for other people, just like Nebu was saying, who are out, you know what I'm saying, who can't attend the class, who, you know what I'm saying, or who are at work, who are able to, replay it, like Brother Asadaru, who's relatively new in the House of Who too, but he's been in enough chats to actually understand how it flows.
Yeah. So, all right, Asad, how did you find us?
I was going to jump right into the rabbit hole and be like, what can we do?
So this is how I found it. Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Right.
Hear me? All right, so this that I found out, you know what I'm saying, not just about y'all, but about, you know what I'm saying, you know what I mean, Dr. York, period, right? So, I'm into hip hop, right? So it was this rapper, right, by the name of Sean Price. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all ever heard of him. Maybe, you know what I'm saying, if you into like East Coast hip hop, you know what I'm saying? So his name's Sean Price. You know what I'm saying? And it's a song called Barbarian, right? And he got a verse, right? And the verse was the verse like Malachi York, freaking your whole eulogy, you know what I'm saying? And then he said like a little bar about the Ansar community and all that, you know what I'm saying? So every time I listen to the song, I'm like, man, this, who is this dude he keep talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like he was really heavy with it, you know what I'm saying? So basically, you know what I'm saying, I found, you know what I'm saying, the Sabeans, you know what I'm saying, at this time they was called, and they was still, you know what I'm saying, calling themselves Nuwaubians. You know what I'm saying? So that was like about 4 years ago, you know what I'm saying? So then they got to changing everything, you know what I mean, changing the language, they started changing the names. And, you know what I'm saying, I kind of noticed, you know what I'm saying, the flaws, you know what I'm saying, that what a lot of stuff was missing, you know what I mean? So I had like bumped into another group of they was calling themselves Nuwaubians, you know what I'm saying, with the B instead of the P, you know what I'm saying, and you know what I'm saying, this brother, his name was Mahuta, and he was talking about, you know what I'm saying, how the Sabeans was, you know what I'm saying, fake and all this and all that, you know what I mean, and I was like, man, I agree with you. So how I found out about the House of Who is, you know what I'm saying, I was listening to Young Elder, right? And this dude, Rod Hayes, was on there. And he kept saying, you know what I'm saying, oh yeah, we finna thunderclap them. We finna bring the House of Who, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, what's the House of Who? You know what I'm saying? I ain't never heard about the House of Who. I ain't never heard that name before. So then, you know what I'm saying, this is other dude on YouTube, you know what I'm saying, he a Sabian or whatever, and he be having Tabitha Jet on there, right? So You know what I'm saying? Tabitha was on there having a little rant or whatever she was doing. And she kept saying the brother Ibrahiim name. You know what I'm saying? So she like, man, brother Ibrahiim, he trying to be his father. And Baba don't even communicate with any of his children. And he trying to be, you are not your father, Ibrahiim. You know what I'm saying? So she just kept saying all that, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, who is this dude, Ibrahiim? You know what I'm saying? That kind of resonated. So, you know what I mean? So basically shit, I left a comment, you know what I mean? About, you know what I'm saying, how can I join the class, you know what I mean?
So
And
I remember
that's how
that
it happened.
on Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they can't keep my name out. They don't know me. They can't keep my name out their mouth.
Right.
Joseph, but you
Yeah.
first seen, but you first seen us on YouTube, right? When you commented on one of the YouTube videos, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
That's when I first, you know what I'm saying? Because I seen the comment, and then I was hearing the dude Rod Hayes, so I'm thinking like, because I already knew dude was kind of, you know what I'm saying, kind of flawed, right? Rod Hayes. So I'm thinking like this was something that he was with, and I'm like, man, I ain't rocking with that shit. Dude seemed kind of off, you know what I'm saying? So, but you know what I'm saying? But you know what I mean? So I did comment, left the comment, bam, and you know what I'm saying? Now I'm here, you know what I'm saying? I call it, you know what I mean, divine intervention, you know what I'm saying?
So
Who I think brother is on mute. Welton there, he's trying to speak, but I think he's on mute, so we couldn't.
Yeah.
He came in. Yeah, he was trying to say something. I can't move his hand.
Nah, that was before Sar started going in and explaining like how he came into the group. You feel me? But I was just gonna say I'm really looking to get deep in the rabbit hole as far as like action, and what to do, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, really, I'm just trying to make him Malachi York proud. You know what I'm saying? Rebuild Tom Ray, and like Icy said, like, really get the kids on board. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the biggest thing. The kids, man. Like just being so young. You know what I'm saying? And like seeing my generation, I be feeling like I can't blame the elders for not wanting to guide us or not wanting to tap into us. You feel me? Or like lead us, because like we fucked up out here. You feel me? Youngins out here in middle school, high school, running with switches on guns. Folks out here being trans, don't like who they are or who they were born to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just really fucked up out here. And like, to me, I'm just like, yo, like, what can we do? Like, I'm tired of sitting back, feeling like I gotta be passive or anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know like that's not my biological father, you know what I'm saying? But I don't connect with much of my family, you feel me? Like, I consider myself a mama's boy or whatnot, but like, me and my dad don't really get along, you know? So like, my wisdom and my knowledge came from big homies out on the streets, you know what I'm saying? Or from Malachi York, you know? And truthfully, I feel like if a lot of misguided boys, you feel me, like myself, came into the knowledge or a lot more aggressive with defending Nuwaubu rather than like defending Blood, Crip, GD, BD, Vice Lord, whatever, you know what I'm saying? It would be a completely different, we would just be in a completely different position in life, you know what I'm saying? So it's like you were mentioning earlier about like how they had the machine. Like, how can we leverage the machine? You know what I'm saying? Because like we in a social media era, we're on the internet, you know what I'm saying? And truthfully, like, our people, we glorify, we're attracted to negativity, you know what I'm saying? Like, we rather see people fighting online rather than, you know, us coming together as a community. And this is what I see, you know what I'm saying? But like, utilizing the social media, like, how can we, I don't want to say infiltrate the machine, but like bait the machine, or like,
no, I feel you. I feel you.
Feel me? Like, pretty much trick them into doing what we want them to do. You feel me? Or moving in accordance to how we can get him out. You know what I'm saying? Because bro, like I was saying before, I didn't even really get deep into it, but I've talked to a lot of Sabeans, individuals that claim to be Nuwaubians, and it's frustrating, bro. It's really frustrating. Like, it's not my blood father, like I was saying before, but like, man, like, bro, it's not right for this man to have such a big impact on so many people's lives, man, and for him to just get left and forgot about. You feel me? Like, I've heard all types of things. He's a clone. Like, they treat him like he don't exist. You feel me? Like he wasn't falsely in prison. They ain't come through and kidnap folks. You feel me? Like,
Right.
It's a very a passionate thing of mine, man. It's not cool, bro. And I'm not with the whole sitting around trying to meditate and nah, man. Like, yeah, the meditation's great to ground yourself and really get that clarity. But like, after you're done with your meditation session, you either gonna go to work, you gonna go eat. You see what I'm saying? So we're gonna have to do something physical down here to make something shake. You know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it is dangerous, that statement. That statement is dangerous, that he's not in there. You know what I mean? That
it's fugazi, man. It's
yes.
fugazi, and folks out here.
Yeah, they want you to forget about him. This is how they basically sneak, take him out. Nobody's looking, reaching out to him. They can take him out easy. And this is what they're doing. That's COINTELPRO. He's not locked up, and he got clones out there. Only clones I see is the cloaks that trying to be him out there.
The ones claiming to be chiefs.
Yeah.
Come on, now. Let's not play, bro. Because if it wasn't for him, there would be no Chiefs, man.
There you go. There you go.
Claiming that.
There you go. So we're on the move. Anybody, but especially I like that, and I ain't trying to be cold towards the elders or anything, because I'm not. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna be 100. For the elders that convince themselves that they're too tired to help the younger generation, or that there is no hope. You know what I mean? They used to be children, themselves. So at the end of the day, I look at those people as the type of people that will be on the same team of you, and then they'll give up. They'll get tired halfway down the court and want to sit down and drink all the daggone water while you in the war. You know what I mean? So, I understand the elders that can't really move, that's losing their sight. But the ones in their, 40, going from 50, 60, that's still out there rocking, they need to be out there still rocking, living life hard. You know what I mean? Living life and doing the right thing. I like the direction. We are about the youth. We are about the youth, who, you know what I mean? And reaching out to the youth all day. And we need to bring them in. It's not going to be an easy task either. Cool. Anybody else want to add on? Ibrahiim, you there?
I'm here. I'm just listening in, taking it all in. It's refreshing. It's refreshing to hear the young voices and feeling their energy. It feels good to know that there are still young warriors out there, and that just hitting here, taking it in, bearing witness to the divine protection and guidance that we all have received, because we all here. Our paths, our journeys, we've been guided to the house of who. And I welcome all the new souls who've come in. You know what I mean? Our job is to go fishing, and it's evident that we are, putting in the work. And it feels good. I want to say ahlun, and look forward to building and growing with you and learning each other and continuing on with the mission and bringing the master teacher home. Hoorah.
Yeah, man, I completely get it. Like, with the elders giving up on us, man, like, it's like, even for me, man, like, it's really hard to even connect with individuals like my age, you know what I'm saying? Just because of, like, I don't want to say like the loose screws, but how far away from being in alignment with the teaching they are, you know what I'm saying? Like, even before I came into the teaching, like, I was doing things and essentially like being pulled towards certain things that, like, end up falling in alignment, you know, and didn't even know, you know. Yeah, man, it's just really hard out here, you know, and it's just like I be feeling like the best thing, like for me, I feel like I'm an old soul, you know what I'm saying? So like I wasn't able to connect with like the YGs. I was connected more with like old heads, you know what I'm saying? Smoking black cigars and you know just talking about their experiences and being outside and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? And like coming back to talk to the young ones is just like it's not the same, you know what I'm saying? So like you said, just that tongue, you know, or just speaking in emojis, you know what I'm saying? Like that's a real big challenge for me, at least, to figure out how to even connect with the youth, you know. But I know the youth are gonna be able to. They're the ones that's gonna be carrying the torch. You feel me? Yeah.
Cool, I feel you, and that's the start though, because that's exactly what we need. See, you on the right thought process, so now change gonna come. You know how people's mind work. Once that thought click, then it start to move. But we needed somebody in your generation to start having that thought process, so to start to move. Cool.
Yeah, who? Yeah. I recall, you know, Pops talking about green meteorites. You know what I mean? And yesterday, it was I forgot where exactly it was at, but it was like a bright green meteorite just flew over some little town, and they've been like, it's like a up and coming meteor shower. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? My question to you, you know what I'm saying, Ibrahiim, is it, you know what I'm saying, has he talked about anything like that? I know I heard it, maybe he like kind of hinted towards it on some little class I was watching. He was saying, because meteorites don't turn green. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So can you, like, you know what I'm saying, like hint on that a little bit if anybody, you know what I'm saying, they got a little bit on it, you know what I mean?
Well, him right now is saying, get me out. You know, to be real. He's saying, get me out. I don't know how, this was resonating, that's hitting me the hardest. I don't know how long I can hold up. You know what I mean? I'll get to you.
So since that been said, and then like yesterday, it burst over some city. It was big and green. It's all on the news. You know what I'm saying? So
I saw that. I saw it. I know what you're talking about.
A sign in nature or something like that. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, in the Holy Tablet, you know what I mean? This is in the chapter of the Ibrahiim, the 6th chapter. You know what I mean? He got a poem in there where he says, soon the day will come when all will look at the sun. You know, man, woman, and child will all cry. I'm not going to go all the way to the verse. And then it said it's going to be balls of fire coming from the sky. So it's basically, he's telling you that. You know what I mean? Also, great balls of fire is not just those balls that you see that in the scroll, great balls of fire. You follow that? So look at the sun. The sun is going crazy. This is the day and time he's talking about. Tick-tock, right? Tick-tock. How long we got until 2030? How many years?
6. Wait, is it?
You see what I mean?
7.
5.5.
Yeah.
See what I mean?
7.
So he needs to be freed, and there has to be a formula, and the formula has to be right. In other words, there has to be a board down there. What is the board? Where's the land at? Where's our land at? Where he's gonna go?
And that's most definitely what I wanted to talk about, right?
That's an important part.
That's 1,000,000% of the important part. Where he's gonna go, where are we building that? You see what I'm saying? And how are we orchestrating ourselves as a board? You know, one of the things they talked to me about when I came down here in Arizona at the store was one, about how they just got appointed a new clan mother or whatnot, but 2, how they thought that their plan is that he's gonna get released to Arizona. You see what I'm saying? And it was in the name of the Father, grace by God, that we just happened to come to Arizona on an exploration trip. You feel me? In the specific city where there's a new store, they got a plant mother and so forth. You feel me? My idea was to build in Georgia because that's where it was originally. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna write it. Damn, just had a brain fart, bro. I was trying to build.
Absolutely, it is. It is about
still
that.
in Georgia.
It is about that. Who? Can you hear me? So, so with your generation, what we're gonna do is have a little meeting with you and Asset or ISIS, you know, as well. And what we're gonna do is see, because y'all know the terrain with your age group, etc., right? And we're gonna put a plan together where we're gonna execute it. Not a plan to just plan on planning again either. You know what I mean? Everybody know me. I'm like, you know, the nail, I'm like the hammer. You know, you're gonna say you're gonna do it, keep that energy. Yeah, keep that energy, overstand this. And we're gonna make this happen. And we're gonna put everything together with, you know, within the household to go forward, because I have to go towards him. I have to go towards him to try to free him, battle that case, etc. We need to go work on getting the land. Any idea that y'all have, trust me, you can speak. You know what I mean? Y'all can speak. My old motto is old soul, young body, old body, young soul. So don't get it twisted. Some of these old heads have got baby souls. They got baby spirits.
Childish as fuck, bro. Childish.
You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, it's who's ready and who got that mindset. And we're gonna make this happen. We'll have our meeting and we're gonna go into each steps and we're gonna put it together and execute. All right? We're at the 10-14 moment. All right, so we're gonna end this class, this shout out with the all affirmation. You know what I mean? As we do when we begin classes with the all affirmation at all times. Cool. And we'll build again. Oh, y'all join the Telegram group, and also, you know, you can go to our channel on YouTube so you can keep up. We got stuff about the case in the channel as well on YouTube. Cool.
Abdul Kulbazun Tapla Tat Wadano Bet Mahu Hadis Aishu Inokalu. Anuki Fiana Aishu Kalu Wakola Shukalu. Nata Kunafikalu. Anuki Ferragun Shukalu. Wakalu Kalun Ferragun Shuni. Anuki Wahid Kakalu Wakalu Kalu Wahid Mali. Aikido, Anjiu, Kama Ferragun Shukalu Wakama Faidu. Aikido Aquino Kudek Luka Physically. Kama Kawu Kama Kafazi Kalumbi Amidu Pikalu. Anuki Kabahawa Hood, Kalu Kalu Nanuki, Kalu Yakun, Kaiki, Kalu Babu, Academy. Again, our prayers, thinking should be to who? Divine love and all. I am in the love of all of the people. We are all in all. I am a part of all and all is a part of me. I am one with all and all is one with me. I can succeed as all, I can succeed as all and fail as an individual. I can be all I wish and all as long as my wishes to stay in all. I am never alone. All this I am. All can I can. All does I do.
Who am I? The Tower Hat family for showing up. I appreciate y'all for showing up and talking to us. You know what I mean? All right, so Nafir Ushat family, Wadu. Who?
Nafir Ushat, Wadu.